No, but what's really interesting about your batting, Nathan Lyon? It's like one ball you look like the one ball you look like a champion, like beautiful cover drive, full Sangakkara energies, and then next minute is like it looks like you're like, what is this piece of wood doing in my hands? Like
Yeah,
you,
that's it. That's how it feels as well. Don't worry about that.
yeah. So
I love cricket, and I love being able to give back to the game that's given me so much. So this is where Goated's been born. Um, so hopefully you guys have had the chance to jump on and had a look at the what's on on show, I guess, for everyone to try and I know partake and learn from and see the insights and what work goes in behind the scenes for myself. So I know, have you all had the chance to had a look? If you have had a look, you can either nod or say yes or say no.
Seen a
What do
couple
yeah,
you
of videos.
what are your original thoughts? We'll go with you and you.
with me.
Yeah.
I had a look at it. Yeah, I mean, it seems like it's a bit of coaching and a little bit of health and fitness, and there's a few other athletes that are joining you as well. From what I see with Goated, so it's a pretty good initiative. I mean, I think it's still in its early days, but
Oh, very much so.
yeah, yeah, but this is a really good thing to be doing. I think when I was a lot younger, I think Brett Lee did something similar where he had some sort of partnership with a few other athletes from different codes, um, trying to get like more kids into being healthy and fitness and stuff like that. It's always good to have an elite athlete, I suppose, because that obviously creates that inspirational, uh, motivating kind of driving factor behind it. So yeah, I guess keep doing what you're doing and I guess just try to branch out a bit more, I suppose. Like I love my cricket. So for a diehard fan like me, like I'll find my way to you because I like you. Like I like Nathan Lyon, the cricketer. So whatever he does, I'll have a look at it. But something I learned at work the other day is that a lot of cricket fans in Australia are there's no longer any diehard fans anymore. The type of cricket fan that most Aussies are what we call casual fans. So, people love cricket, but only if it's on TV. Only if there's a game on, only if this or that, right? Like the landscape in the way Australians are enjoying cricket now has changed dramatically. Um, a lot of young kids coming up now, a lot of this Gen Z or Gen Alpha generation, all these kids born after the year 2000, like they look at cricket so differently. Like they don't care about Viv Richards, they don't care about Ricky Ponting. Like, oh, he's too old. Oh, that's before me. I don't care. The kids want to know in the here and now. And I mean, for me, that obviously breaks my heart. But I've got a couple of nieces and nephews that love cricket. And when I tell them about the greats of yesteryear, they're like, "Who's that?" So
Yeah.
so
Okay.
um so I think you got to kind of look at the way Australians enjoy cricket now. It's very different now.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, you bang on it. It's very early doors, and
Yeah.
this is the first time we're doing this live chat, and it's something that I thoroughly enjoy because it's so hard for me to get out to Queensland or country Victoria or country New South Wales or WA, wherever people may be, to get in touch with everyone and connect and hopefully inspire you guys, and hopefully I don't know you can go out there and chase your dreams, whatever that may be, and whatever level cricket you want to be able to achieve. So it's very early days, and at the end of this, I'm going to ask you guys what do you want to actually see. Firstly, do you like the platform? Do you like the videos that we're producing? Because at the end of the day, this is something that I want you guys, the fans of cricket, as you just said, I want them to have a say in what they want to see, what they want to learn. What are we as professional athletes doing different to everyone else?
Mm.
So at the end of this, I will ask you those questions so you can have a think of it now. But I suppose this is your chance now. If you got me for half an hour, so if you want to ask any questions, fire away. Is any questions that you have, don't get embarrassed or anything like that. It's fire. Whether you want to know about Kumar Sangakkara or do you want to know about Virat Kohli or whoever it may be, it's this is your chance to really
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Ask away.
Well, I've got a question for you, Nathan. I've got a question for you. Now, obviously, I'm a finger spinner myself. I bowl a bit of off spin. But I find that for me, confidence is always a big thing. Confidence is always a bit of an issue. Because as you know, being slow bowlers, we come onto bowl, the batsman's eyes light up. They're like, oh yes, here comes an offie. I'm gonna smash him downtown. Like, they might be struggling against the quick bowlers, but all of a sudden a spinner comes on, and suddenly their body language is different. They're more confident. They look like they're ready to, pummel you down the ground or hit some sixes. Like, how do you maintain your composure and stay calm when you're getting belted around the park? Like, how do you just keep it together?
Yeah, I'm probably built a little bit differently because I actually enjoy when guys try to hit me for six.
Hmm.
One piece of advice I could give to that I do give to a lot of young spinners is that you see a fast bowler come on, you see Mitchell Stark or Pat Cummins or Josh Hazlewood, they come in, they have 3 slips of gully in a bat pad. So they've got 4 to 5 catches in and around the bat. And when we come on as spin bowlers, we've got usually 1 slip and 1 bat pad, and we've got one. So that's 2. So why
Yeah.
can't we use those 3 other catches out in the boundary as if bowling to a right-hander, a deep mid-on, deep mid-wicket, and deep square leg, and use them as my 3rd, 4th slips and a gully
Hmm. Hmm.
mentality, and understand that, okay, if you're big enough and brave enough, a lot of guys will put their chest out against spin bowlers because they're not scared of getting hurt. That's
Yeah.
especially if you're bowling with in partnerships with someone very quick. So
Yeah.
I try and make sure that I always tend to start with guys out and then
Yeah.
bring them up, because if you start with fielders up in the ring, as
Mm.
in like a mid on and a mid wicket in the ring, then you get hit over the top and you put them out. It's hard for you to bring them up again. So as a bowler, the biggest thing is if you can try and look like you're in control of the game, you're in control of what they're doing, like using the batters as a puppet type thing, if you know what I mean. Like,
Right.
okay, you're only going to hit this when I allow you to try and have a go at it, type thing. Does
Gotcha.
that does that make sense?
Yeah, I see. So it's you kind of use the batsman's confidence to your own advantage, right?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
you
100%. It's all
you
of it.
play on their ego.
It's all cricket's very much. I always talk about having a balance between your ego, then having a balance between your fear as well. So, not respecting failing, but not fearing it, and
Yes.
understanding that it's okay. It's okay to fail. It's okay to get hit for six.
Yeah.
But also don't get over top confident with your ego, where a lot of batters will be. They
Yeah.
play on the egos, even at the international level. Even some of my teammates play on the egos as well. So
Of course.
it's part of the game, but you got to have a balance between an ego and fear, if that hopefully makes sense to you.
No, amazing, amazing. I got one final question, then I'll let the others have a chance to have a chat. I want you to rewind back to your test debut, against Sri Lanka in Sri Lanka. Your first test wicket with your first ball, you got Kumar Sangakkara out, first test wicket. Like, what were your thoughts? What were the emotions when you got the big dog of Sri Lanka dismissed? That was a good ball as well. I remember that ball, spinning away, getting the outside edge. What were the
Yeah.
emotions going through your mind when that happened?
I was extremely nervous. I was at the top of my mark, or we're at a drinks break, and Michael Clark come up to me, and his words were exactly, "Youngster, are you ready to go?" And I
Wow.
said, "Yep, ready to go." And the nerves kind of hit and kicked in. And I remember standing at the top of my mark, and Ricky Ponting come over and just told myself to back your skill,
Yeah.
which has stuck with me 122 tests later. And then Mike Hussey come up, slapped me on the arse and said, "Whatever you do, just do it with a smile on your face." And I'm
Shit.
like, "Huss, this is pretty hard to do with a smile on your face. I'm like literally shitting bricks here. I'm so nervous." But when I bowled that ball, I obviously thought it felt really wide. I thought he's just going to hit this for 4 through the covers, but
Yeah.
it actually had pretty nice shape on it, and I'm pretty fortunate. I had a pretty good slips fielder in Michael Clark there
Oh yeah.
able to take a pretty special catch.
Oh yeah, he's probably one of the best in the business. But no, what a surreal moment that is. I remember watching that ball and I was like, this guy could go somewhere. Um, and
Well,
496 test wickets later, there you are. So there you are.
no, I appreciate that, mate. It's very kind.
All good. I actually got a few. I got some more interesting questions for you, Nathan. I guess it's more from a journalistic or sort of sporting perspective. So, we find that whenever off spinners, whenever like overseas off spinners come to Australia from England, India, wherever, they don't seem to do as well, right? Their bowling averages balloon out of control. They get smashed. Even the great even the great Muralitharan, had very little success in Australia despite being the world's best off spinner. However, you, Nathan, have been the opposite. You've taken truckloads of wickets in obviously Australian conditions. What sets what sets you apart from the other offies when getting wickets on your own home soil? Like, why do you think that is the case? I guess.
Uh, the amount of bounce that I get, I get
Hmm.
a lot of bounce, but
Hmm.
also the guys who I'm actually bowling with in partnerships. Cricket is a game. It's an individual game for about 3 seconds, but we always talk when we're batting in partnerships. You always got your teammate at the other end. Bowling's probably more important as in partnerships in my eyes, because you look at who I've been able to play Test cricket with, going back to Ryan Harrison, Mitchell Johnson, Pete Siddle, to now you look at Camo, Josh,
Yeah.
Starkey, these guys, like their pace level, their quality of bowlers that they are, usually means that the touring teams that they tend to potentially struggle a little bit with the consistency of those guys and
Yeah.
the skill set. So they think they can come out on and try and take me down, which my bounce is probably then becomes my biggest weapon here in Australia.
Yeah.
And then, as I was saying before, if you put your fielders out,
Mm.
Australia's got bigger grounds as well. But then, flip side of that, you got our Australian batters who, in our team meetings, when Mo and Ali came, or when Graham Swan came out here in the 2014 Ashes,
Yeah.
we sat in the team room and we said, "No, our batters are going to target Swanee because we respect him and we
Yes.
know how good he is. But if we
Yeah.
can get our Jimmy Anderson, Stuart Broad, and these guys coming back for extra spells, they're going to tire out. They're going to bowl loose ball." So our plan was to target Graham Swan and really try and put them under pressure. So that's
Mm.
one thing Australian batters do really well. They play the spin well here. They use their feet and they hit down the ground, and they usually hit aerial as well.
I see. And the last question I got for you, it's a bit of another interesting question. There's obviously another young off spinner who could be your successor in a few years' time, and that is none other than the very Harry Potter looking Todd Murphy. Um, he's obviously spent a bit of time with you practicing his craft in finger spin, and I'm personally a big fan of Todd Murphy. I love the way he bowls. He had a lot of success in India. I guess, what are your thoughts? What's your analysis around Todd Murphy's development as an off spinner?
Yeah, it's been really interesting to watch, and obviously up close and personally. I've been able to bowl with him in the nets and see a lot of his skill set, which is quite similar. His mindset is really similar as well. We've got Daniel Vittoria as our spin coach, which has been unbelievable tactically
Yeah.
as well. So I feel like Todd, he's still growing. He's not by far is not the finished product. I'm not the finished product. This is my 13th year of professional cricket, and one thing about cricket is that what I love about it is that I feel like that I've played against some of the greats of the game, and I've never met anyone. I've never played against anyone who's conquered the game.
Yes.
I
Hmm.
I honestly don't believe I'll find anyone or meet anyone or play against anyone or play with anyone who will ever conquer the game.
Yeah.
So we're all learning. We're all trying to get better. But I feel like Murph's trajectory and his scene presentation at the current time is really suited to subcontinent, which is beneficial because we are going to play 2 to 3 spinners each time we go over there.
Yeah.
I know he's working on spinning up the back of the ball like we all are, and trying to get that really consistent as well. But he is very exciting. He does have a big future ahead of him. But I'm also a big fan of Corey Roccacioli as well from Perth.
Yeah.
I feel like he's bowling in WA is probably arguably one of the hardest places to bowl, and he's having some great success in for
Easily,
for Western Australia, and being one of the big mainstays why they've been so successful in the Shield cricket. So I reckon the spin department in Australia is going okay. So, but saying that,
yeah.
hopefully I'll be around for a few more years.
Well, I mean, you'd be a fantastic coach for these youngsters as well. I think there's even like Tanvir Sanger coming through the ranks. You've got a few other youngsters making their way, but yeah, to me, Todd Murphy's sort of the standout. I really enjoy watching him bowl. He's very accurate. He's got the same temperament that you have. Like he doesn't lose his marbles if he's getting smashed for a six. He's just like, I'm just gonna keep plugging away, and hopefully the wickets will come. So no, it's good. Good take on that. I appreciate that. Thank you.
No, easy.
496 test wickets don't come as a fluke. So you're definitely doing something right. And I guess for a lot of young offies, yeah, we'd love to learn a bit more about what you're doing. I think one thing I really appreciate about your bowling, Nathan Lyon, is that you don't have a lot of these like fancy trick balls. There's no deucers in there. There's no carom balls and stuff like that. Maybe you do have a carom ball. I'm not sure, but from what I've seen of your bowling, you're fairly orthodox. Like a pretty traditional kind of off spinner, and it's great to see you have so much success bowling like the old fashioned way, like the normal way to bowl offies. And so yeah, I guess if you can impart some, I guess technical and also mental, mindset stuff would be quite helpful for a lot of spinners in this country.
Well, I appreciate that, mate. I do have a carom ball. It's called Jeff, but I don't bowl it because
Yeah.
I trust my off break ball, and that's probably one of the biggest pieces of advice I can give you guys. And it will come out in the video that I will produce. I will get filmed. Is that if you can trust your stock ball, and this may sound funny for a lot of people, but I fall in love with the seam presentation and the way it feels out of my fingers, and I know how it's going down there. That's the best feeling for me. And as bowlers, we can only control from our run up to when we release the ball. Unfortunately, we don't have a say in what the batters do. If I had a say in what the batters would do, I'd have about 900 test wickets by now, but that's not the case, unfortunately.
So, well, the thing is, I have a bit of a media journalism background, so I work for a television station. So look, I think some really good characters you could bring on your show, Nathan. Definitely Usman Khawaja. I definitely second that. Maybe even like a Travis Head or Pat Cummins would be quite useful. Maybe even some of the more retired players, like recently retired. Maybe like a Chris Rogers even. He's quite a switched on kind of bloke. And a couple of female cricketers would be good too. I think it's good to have a few female cricketers in there as well, the likes of maybe like a Elise Perry or a Sophie Molyneux. Those kind of very established Australian women's cricketers would be great to have on the show as well. Communication, I think for a lot of millennials and like Gen Z, it's pretty much Instagram. Facebook is a bit of a dying breed now. Facebook is kind of on its way out. So I think platforms like Instagram and TikTok are really, really good to get a lot of reach in a short amount of time. So I think
Well, Davey's very good at TikTok, isn't he?
oh yeah. David Warner's my eyes sort of burn a bit when I watch some of those TikToks,
Yeah, not
but
by your own.
yeah, TikTok and Instagram are really powerful social media platforms to jump on. Then obviously, given your influence and stature, Nathan Lyon, I'm pretty confident there'll be quite a few people on there, wanting to have a look. So I reckon those two platforms are where your attention should be in terms of making it bigger.
No worries. Well,
Yeah.
appreciate that.